Certainly been a busy morning. Declan Rice gave a fascinating news conference ahead of England's last 16 game with Senegal on Sunday. We can go live to Doha and join our senior reporter, Rob Dorset. Rob, you were in that news conference. Perhaps the biggest surprise was an admission, I guess, around his club ambitions, wasn't it?
Yeah, Hayley, look, England players don't often talk about their own clubs and their own individual club situations when they're away on England duty, and even more rarely at a major tournament. But Declan Rice covered pretty much every subject we could throw at him. He's one of the most engaging and likeable characters in this England squad. He's very eloquent as well. And so when it was put to him that he talks a lot about the big game players in this England squad, and how they've played in Champions League finals, they've won major trophies, a lot of them have won Premier League titles. It was suggested to him that maybe he's a little bit envious about that. Now, remember his situation. He's been at Chelsea as a kid, moved to West Ham at the age of 14 and been there ever since. More than 200 club appearances at a senior level for West Ham. He's a club legend at West Ham already, you have to say. And so the fans and David Moyes, I think, will be a little bit concerned when they hear what Declan Rice had to say to us in answer to that question, because it's pretty clear he wants to win major trophies in his career as well. Now, the question mark could be, of course, is that with West Ham? Is that elsewhere? Have a listen, make your own minds up from what Declan Rice said to us just a few minutes ago.
I feel like I really want to, keep pushing. Like you said, I see my friends here who are playing Champions League, winning the big trophies. You only get one career, and at the end of your career, you want to look back and by what you've won and the biggest games you've played in. And I'm really ambitious, and I really want to do that.
Surprising that, wasn't it, from Declan Rice? That'll make headlines, I think, throughout the media today. But of course, he was here to talk about England and the very solid start that they've made to this World Cup. Unbeaten so far, 2 wins and a draw. And he made it clear that the real business for England starts now. That's why there weren't over-the-top celebrations from the England players after they beat Wales the other night. And he made it clear that because England have got to a World Cup semi-final 4 years ago and the Euros final, there's a confidence and a belief, maybe even an expectation in this England squad right now that they can perhaps go one better. And so rather than England fearing other nations, Declan Rice thinks it's a time for other nations to maybe start fearing England.
Other nations will always look at us and think and look at the quality that we've got in the squad. Why should we not be feared? If you look at our attacking players, we have world-class, unbelievable talents across the board and across the whole team. Players that have played in the biggest games, won the biggest trophies. So look, we are one of the biggest teams here. But look, it's down to us to prove it on the pitch. Obviously, teams like the French have proved that. They've won a World Cup and they've done it consistently. And obviously now we want to change that. So all them big nations, we want to show that we're here, and we're not just here now to get into the round of 16. We want to go the whole way.
Oh, we're getting ready to see England training a little bit later this morning. Just 3 days to go until they take on Senegal. What kind of challenge do you think they're expecting?
A tough challenge. Declan Rice made it clear that he thinks this will be England's toughest challenge yet. He's full of admiration for this Senegal side, and he said, look, when you get to the knockout stages, the quality, the intensity just steps up that little bit. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what the England squad look like when we see them for live training. We'll bring that to you on Sky Sports News less than an hour now, when they should be out on the training pitch here at the Al Wakra Sports Camp. But yeah, Rice was asked about Senegal and specifically the threat that they pose, especially with so many English-based players in there. They'll be well known to this England squad, won't they? And here was Rice's answer.
I think we've had a real good focus throughout the 3 group games, 3 tough group games as well. But like you said, now we're obviously on to a bigger test. Obviously, we know Senegal's going to be really tough, and now we know that it's the knockout stages. We want to win, and if you don't win, obviously you go home. But that's not what we're aiming for. We're here to get to the end of the tournament.
What do you expect from Senegal? Is this the toughest test you'll have faced so far?
Yeah, I think so. Really strong, athletic team. Some really good individual players. Didn't see their game against Ecuador, but been watching their other games. Just a really good team. I think it's our first time playing them. Well, since I've been in the South anyway. So, look, we know it's going to be a really tough test.
And he used the opportunity to clarify something to you, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, Hayley. Look, when the FA, when all the players sign up for this England squad at major tournaments, when they arrive at St George's Park in the Midlands, the FATV are there to greet them, and because
Be back there.
Oh, mate, special.
Feel different.
and you'll see in a moment that he gets an empty suitcase out of the back, and he joked at the time and said,
Be back there.
that's to bring the trophy back just in case we can do that. So of course I had to ask him about that one today, because it's gone a little bit viral, that clip, I have to say, and it's been the talk of some of the England players as well. And Declan Rice, I think, wanted to clear up the situation with regards to that empty suitcase. Have a listen. Let's just finish those pictures. I think they're still going. There's his empty suitcase coming out the back. But have a listen to what he said about why he brought an empty suitcase with him to the World Cup. It took a bit of explaining.
The case was actually for spare clothes. When I arrived, I just had a spare case because going back to the Euros, I remember we got given so much stuff. And I knew that taking a spare case would be needed to take home. So it's actually full up right now in my room full of spare clothes and trainers. So look, it would be nice to bring the World Cup trophy home in it, but at the moment it's got my spare clothes in it.
Spare clothes, but space for a World Cup trophy if needs be. Lovely interview with Declan Rice. We'll bring much more of it to you throughout the day on Sky Sports News. Some of the other headlines, he said that he talked about Jude Bellingham, who's been a superstar at this World Cup. They've only played together 10 times, but he's said to the 19-year-old, this is your stage, go and take it. He talked about a slightly different role that he plays for England. It's a bit more defensive than the freedom he's given to go box to box with West Ham. He said Marcus Rashford can win the Golden Boot, he thinks. He says he's happy to play 90 minutes for all 7 games, if that is what it takes for England to win the World Cup. And he also talked about Southgate's calmness as the perfect motivation and preparation for these players. Loads from Declan Rice there that will reflect throughout the day on Sky Sports News. And we'll see the man himself out on the training pitch alongside the rest of those England players very, very shortly. Only 3 training sessions to go now before that huge game in the last 16 against Senegal.